this movie was so good. I have, I don't know how to express, oh my gosh. So good. So good, so good. Wait, I didn't say hi yet. Hi, hello there, my dreamers, believers, and adventure seekers. Y'all. I know, it's crazy. I'm talking about something that's actually topical. Wow. Okay, I don't know how to begin. I will say this. Spoilers, if you have not seen The Batman, because I'm gonna be talking about The Batman, or I'm gonna try to. I'm not fully awake yet, but I know that I love this movie, and I need to say something about this movie because, yes, it's so good. What's in my, oh, that's weird. It's so good. Oh my gosh. It's literally all I can think about. Who's ready for an incoherent babbling mess where I scream and kind of walk around my room for a bit about utter nonsense? Let's go. I thought No Way Home was gonna be my favorite movie of the year. This is my favorite movie of the year. First of all, I knew it was gonna be good. At least I knew I was gonna really like it the minute they like opened it up and like opera was playing. I was like, oh, this is artsy. Oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna have a good time, and I did. I did. It was just such a film noir, if you will. It specifically worked really well with, you know, Batman and Gotham, and oh my gosh. It's so freaking good. Bro, when I tell you, this, first of all, was very refreshing. As someone who's been a partaker of Marvel content for a while now, this movie was so refreshing. Like, it was a palate cleanser. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good! I just freaking, honestly, it rejuvenated my love for Batman because, fun fact, I used to be like the biggest DC fan when I was like in high school, middle school, specifically about Batman. I was the biggest Batman fan growing up. Straight up, I did a PowerPoint presentation about him. I missed some key things, but I was in 10th grade, so it's fine. I don't know if it's just because of recent portrayals of Batman, but like, I kind of like declined from that era of my life. But now, I feel like the way I did in my youth. It's so good. I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. First, oh my gosh. I will say, a lot of what's in this video is simply my opinion. It does not reflect on how you should feel. And I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong, even though I usually say I'm right and you're wrong, but this is just how I feel. This is just my vibe and how it equates to me. Do not take it personally what I have to say, because I know how you girls like to tussle. Y'all like to rumble, okay? I know how y'all work. Shut the frick up. Me personally, I like this movie more than The Dark Knight. Now, to be fair, I have not seen The Dark Knight trilogy in a very long time, but I like this movie. I like it very much. The length that it is, the 3 hours, I feel like it's very appropriate. It has to be that long to fully grasp the feelings and the artistry that it's giving. So good. So good. Take a shot every time I say so good. Actually, don't. You will get liver failure. One of the things that I really, really, really like about the movie, the soundtrack. It's a banger, but the way that it works with the film is just brilliant. I have a very limited knowledge of musical terminology, so I could be incorrect in my statement of phrasing things, but the way, and you can specifically like note it in the part where the freaking floods are coming in and everyone's in the arena and everyone's like screaming because there's shots fired. Like that whole scenario, that whole scene, the music, it's very reminiscent of like the classic superhero sounds. And I noticed it the second time, like it has like the classic like Batman theme. Like, you know, like the Batman, the animated series, like that opening like sound in that opening like theme song, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's like the somewhat of the theme whenever Batman's around. Like, ugh. So good! I don't even know what I'm saying. I think what I said makes sense. It's got that classic feel to it, but it's so modern and it like knows itself and it carries itself with such pride. And oh my gosh, Bruce Wayne, I love this Bruce Wayne. I love emo Bruce. I don't want to say he's like quirky, but he is. He's emo in a way that he has unresolved trauma, and the way that he's like coping with it is by being the Batman. Like, sure, he really could actually invest in his Bruce Wayne persona if he wanted to really make a difference on Gotham with all of his wealth. Like, hey buddy, maybe fix the infrastructure first. Maybe you'll actually do that in the second movie. If there's a second movie, please say there's a second movie. Oh my gosh. Hey, Matt Reeves. Maddie. Can I call you Maddie? I'll stick with Matt. I don't know if you're thinking about doing a second movie because this one's doing really, really well from what I've heard. But if you do, take your time. First of all, I will wait. Honestly, I don't know if it's because I've just been overstimulated with all the freaking content drops that Marvel does, but I am willing to wait for another artistic masterpiece like this movie. If you finna do a sequel, it will be worth it. I already know, but just consider a second movie. And when you do a second movie, consider Mr. Freeze. Consider Mr. Freeze. Maybe even Pamela Isley. What? Isn't that one of the classic Batman movies? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Consider it. Because I frankly think we should bring back Mr. Freeze. It has been a long time since he's been on the screen. Also, I think he's a great character as a villain. And maybe this is the movie where after Gotham's fixed, Bruce Wayne decides, you know what? Maybe I'll step outside once in a while, see how everyone's doing. Okay, here's some money, make yourself feel better, okay, bye. Because clearly he doesn't like people, and that's how I relate to him. Like that scene where he's watching the clip of Selena on replay, and then like he jumps because he got called by Albert. Me watching edits of Taeyong on a loop. Oh my gosh, his suit, so good. First of all, I love the way that he moves. Like obviously it's funny because he has to like move very slow, but there's a reason for it because he's got to capture every little thing with his little eye cameras. But I love the way that his suit looks. Does such a good job. And like you could see the difference between Batman and Bruce because when Batman walks, or he's like solitude, but he still has like power and like inducing fear in him, like the way that he moves, because he's kind of just like boom, boom, boom with his stompers. I love his stompers. I love the Victorian Gothic architecture that is the Wayne Tower. Which I know it's just to establish that like the Waynes have been there because they built the town, and so obviously the architecture would, well no, did they? Wait a minute, no, because they said they donated the house to the orphanage when they moved. There's an ant. I love the way Batman looks. I love his suit. I love the way that he just speaks. The way that the public interacts with him, it's really interesting because like when we first like see them with him, they're just like, what the frick is this? Alright. It's like when you're at the grocery store just trying to buy eggs and you see a cosplayer next to you dressed as like Sailor Moon Deku from My Hero Academia, and you're just like, I mean, I guess. But then by the end of it, my Riddler glasses keep falling off. That's what I've decided to call these. They're kind of the same as his. Honestly, he's got a nice pair of specs, despite him. I know the actor did a great job at playing him, and I respect his artistry, but I'm sorry, the Riddler is just, he's so funny. The way that he just, he's just so funny without trying. Like, you already know, the Polaroids on the wall, fantastic. Just comical. The way that the man is like on his like live streams like, hey guys, thanks for all the likes and comments, like, oh my gosh, not this man being a content creator. Like, it's just funny to me to think that like when the news came out of like that PowerPoint presentation of basically explaining, oh, the Waynes are tied to Carmine Falcone, blah, blah, blah. I really like to think that this man, because he had to do all this. Like he prepped for all this. He made all those little notes. He probably made all those little cards because they were just so particular to what he needed to say. I really like to think that this man had an Adobe Premiere Pro 7-day free trial and he edited all of those, the clips to make the video for the news. Like, it's funny when you think about it, or maybe I'm just thinking it's funny because I have a terrible sense of humor. Like the one part where Batman is like, what did you do? What did you do? And he's like, Ave Maria. Like, that's what I finna do. Just any minor inconvenience, start singing opera. Zoe Kravitz did such a great job as Selena. I know my whole shtick is I don't do ships, but for my youth I will. I've been a huge fan of Batman and Catwoman since I was a child. Like, for some reason I knew from a young age, before I even knew what love is, that those two meant to be. Yeah, that right, yeah. Like the chemistry, it's so good. Like the one part, the look at me scene, the look at me, the way that he says it, the way that he said. They knew exactly what they were doing with that. So good. It's so good. I love them. Unfortunately, I now have a crush on Batman, Bruce Wayne, which like I never have. The way I feel towards Batman before is the way that I feel towards Kim Nam-joon. That's my dude, you know? But now he's like,
I'm vengeance.
And I'm available. Why? You were thinking it too! Between him, Selena, and the Batmobile, you all were thinking it! The Batmobile was really sick though. That scene, oh, so good. I think my favorite thing, because like I said, recent Batman things, they've always portrayed Batman as sort of like, you know, reason Gotham is the way that it is, which to a degree it kind of is. When Bruce decided to be Batman, he did it because he wanted to like put fear in Gotham and like help people and blood and vengeance. However, in doing so, kind of brought up the crazies because like, oh, he's just like me. All the supervillains just kind of kin Batman to a degree. What the frick am I saying? And like, in this movie especially, like, touches Batman when like, they stop Riddler's gang and you know, Gordon is like, who are you? And he's like, me, I'm vengeance. And Batman's like, oh man. But by the end of the film, I think it's really interesting because instead of becoming a symbol of vengeance, he becomes a symbol of hope. And I think he says it himself basically that like, the city needs someone to avenge them basically. And the city themselves, I think, understands that Batman's on their side. Like, especially the one scene where he's carrying the one girl, puts her in the airlift and she's like, no, because she's like scared, and like you could see him like comforting her. I feel like a lot of times we don't always get to see the warmth that like Batman has because he is generally like a good, kind person. You know, it's just a lot of like Batman like media things that I've seen make him out to be like this like this really dark dude, but he's like really not. I mean, like, he's tactical and he uses fear as a weapon, but he is generally good to the folk. A lot of like core memories I have of this portrayal specifically are from like scenes in like the animated media of him. The first one is like from the animated Batman series because that one is just top tier. There's an episode in which Harley Quinn is released from Arkham because she's been rehabilitated and she's like going about Gotham and everyone's kind of like screaming and like pointing at her because she's like roller skating and like hyenas are pulling her, which is causing alarm for everyone. And so she finally like stops, looks in the mirror, and it's just like, oh my gosh, people are terrified of me because of this outfit. Honestly, felt that. So she goes to a department store, she buys a dress, she pays for it. The only problem is that she left before they could take the security tag off of it. So while she's trying to leave, she's kind of triggered and she kind of loses it, reverts back to Harley Quinn. However, by the end of the episode, when she's being dropped off at Arkham, Batman gives her the dress. And that, I don't know, that just, it warms right here. Another moment that warms right here, I think it's from Justice League Unlimited. At some point, they have to deal with these villains that are resembled of a deck of cards, but there's a character who is like a little girl and she's like the powerful one to the point where like Amanda Waller, I think, tells the Justice League they gotta take her out. And Batman's like, I'll be the one to do it. So then he goes in and she's like, you're not gonna do it. And he's like, nah. She tells him, I'm dying. She asks him to stay and he stays and he like carries her out after she's passed away. I'm just like, yes. Batman he's great. I remember reading a comic, I don't know where this memory is coming from, but I remember reading a comic when like Selena is like caught, she's put in jail, and Batman checks about her cats. He feeds her cats because she's not there to take care of them. That's true love, baby. The amount of times that Batman has let Selena get away because he's so whipped for her, I love it. I love it. The movie is so good. It's artistically good. The production has been phenomenal. Like, you're never like bored. Like, if anything, you're like tired because you haven't eaten all day and maybe you have to go to the bathroom, but you should have known better because it was a 3-hour movie and oh my gosh, why don't you ever eat anything? Anyways, it's good. I liked, honestly, because I know some people, some racist folk were upset like, oh, why is Jim Gordon black? There's so many black people. There's like 3 on screen. What the frick? Shut up. I think he did a great job. I love Jim Gordon and the Batman dynamic. Like, it really felt like a partnership. This is my partner, you know? Like, this is my pal. Like, it worked really well. I loved it. I love the social commentary. My brain cells are declining at a rate that is kind of concerning, but I will say that socioeconomic and political commentary that was like weaved upon and touched upon the movie, I think it was good. I enjoyed it. This movie is a fun time. The fight scenes, oh, the way that he just like, the opening, I know I'm like circling and I'm jumping around and I'm not making any sense, but hello, it's me. What did you expect? I guess if you're new, you probably didn't know that. The opening scene, I feel like, was really good at establishing Batman's influence in Gotham because it like opens with like different criminals doing criminal things. It's got his like little narration, which ends up being his little journal. I love that he journals, y'all. They see the bat signal, then they look to the shadows, which they kind of alluded to a little bit earlier before they show the shadows, and they think, oh my gosh, Batman could be there, but he wasn't. He was there. The way that he just like walks in, they try swag, and then he goes, bah, 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 like he moves so nicely. It's just so good, so good. I probably should wrap this video up because I'm kind of talking in circles. I will just say that I love this film. It's so good. The story was so well written and it flowed so nicely. Like there were no hiccups. Everything made sense. Like I know they had, they recently just posted online a deleted scene where he interacted with the Joker. And I'm really glad that they didn't put that clip in the movie because I feel like it kind of would have thrown it a little bit off. If anything, that clip would have been a nice callback to when like Batman is talking to Riddler in Arkham. He's like, you're nobody. You'll never be anyone. That would have been the only good part of that scene, but I feel like it would have just like made it a little bit clunky. But it was a nice scene to have, at least for us to enjoy, is like, you know, oh, a little bonus thing, wow. You think, oh, he caught the bad guy, we're done. Actually, no. We have to stop this impending thing because that's such a Batman thing. It's so good. Just thinking about the part where like, he tells Selena, don't throw your life away. And she's like, he has to pay. And he's just like, but you don't need to pay with him. You've paid enough. Oh, I love this movie. Let's just carry on with our closing statements. I really liked it. I really liked this movie. I liked it a lot more than I had anticipated I would. I remember when they first announced another Batman movie, I was like, ugh, why? You guys keep ruining him. But they did a really good job with this one. Honestly, it was great. I kind of wish I could go back and rewatch it for the first time. And I don't feel that way about a lot of things. But this movie, I'm excited if they make like 2 more movies and give this a trilogy. Like I'm ready for it. Like I have something to look forward to now in life. Thanks for watching whatever the frick this video was. I probably was incoherent the entire time, but thank you for sticking around and listening to my ramblings. Give me that watch time, baby. What's good? If I don't entirely infuriate you, by all means, subscribe if you like. You don't have to. To be honest, I understand. I mean, look at this shirt. It's too amazing for you to behold. I get it. So I'm off. I've got places to go, people to meet, worlds to conquer. Until next time, from and always, Nadia. Bye! My fingers look weird like that. Bye.